Hello everyone. I'm going to show you today how we make what we call a loom. A loom is what we use to create weavings that eventually will turn into fabric pieces like blankets. This is my big professional loom. It is made out of wood and nails, and you can see my yarn here. The up and down vertical string is where I am going to weave my other yarn in and out of, up and down, up and down. And when I'm finished, I can eventually take this off and it will be a little blanket. We are going to create our own little looms today and make one of these little mini weavings, mini blankets that we can take off of our loom. So what we're going to start with today is a piece of cardboard, Sharpie, scissors, tape, and some yarn. So to start making your loom, you're going to start with your marker and your cardboard, and you're going to draw 10 lines on top and bottom of your cardboard. We want these lines to be evenly spaced. So here's a good way to make them evenly spaced. Start in the middle of your cardboard on the bottom, in the middle of your cardboard on the top. See how they're lined up? That's my first line. Now on this side and this side, I'm going to make a few more marks until I have 10. So I need 9 more marks. So what I'm going to do on this side, actually I'm going to go to 11. So I'm going to put 5 and 5 on this side. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are kind of evenly spaced. Then on the bottom, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of line them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. So I don't want my lines to ever look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not going to work. We want them to be evenly spaced. All right, now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut on those tiny little lines. So just cut until I go to the end of the line. Don't cut all the way through the cardboard. Tiny cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 cuts on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cuts on the top. You can see those cuts are a little bit, they're making a little indent in there. Okay, so now I'm going to take my yarn, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap my yarn around to finish up the loom. So I'm going to grab a big piece of yarn. You want to measure your arms 3 times. So I'm going to measure my arms once. So I'm wrapping this from one hand to the next. 2, 3. Big, big, big. And then cut that off. You see, I have a lot of yarn here. Find the end of your yarn. Start at the very first cut on the top of your loom. Place your yarn in the cut. Get in there really good. Flip your loom over and tape this piece down. So I'm just going to take a little piece of tape, cut it or rip it off, and tape that piece on the back down so it doesn't come out of the loom. Now this is pretty easy. I'm just wrapping from the top to the bottom. Top to the bottom. Wrap, wrap, around, 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 around. Okay, my lines are nice and straight. And then my last one, there we go. Okay, if I have extra yarn here, I'm going to cut it off, leave a little piece on the back so I can tape that down. And then my loom is finished. So this is the front, the tape on the back is the back. So I'm ready to start weaving. This is great. Now I'm going to take some colorful yarn. This time I'm going to just measure my arms once and get a big piece of yarn. All right, it's time to start weaving. Let's zoom in so we can really see what we're doing here. Now, when we weave, we start at the end of our yarn. We start at the top of our loom, and we do this pattern. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So I'm going to start down, and that means I'm going to go under my yarn. Then I'm going to go up and over. Then I'm going to go down, under, up, over. So start to say this pattern in your head. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Okay, I've made it to the end. Now I'm gonna pull my yarn all the way until I get to the end of my piece. I think my yarn was a little bit too big, so I'm gonna cut it all the way to the end. Stop. And push my yarn up. Push, 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 push. All the way up to the top so it's nice and tight at the top. Okay, it's time to do the pattern again, over, under. So I'm gonna take the end of my yarn again, find the end, there it is. And I'm going to go over, under again. Now this one, is it over or under? Let's zoom in so we can see. This one is under. So now I'm going to go over, over, then under, over, then under, over, then under, over, then under, over, under, over. Pull my yarn. It's nice and tight. Not too tight though, just tight enough. Push my yarn up. Nice and tight. And then I think you guessed what I'm probably gonna do next. Find the end of my yarn, do it again. So this one is over, then I have to now go under. Start the pattern again. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Pull my yarn nice and tight. Push, push, push it up nice and tight. There we go. So I have started my weaving pretty well here. I have 3 weaving lines done. When I am done, I will know because I have gone to the end of my loom. This friend is almost halfway done. They just have to go to the end of their loom. So this can take a while. If you run out of string, you can always switch colors or switch colors whenever you want to make a pattern. So if you haven't run out of blue, but you want to switch colors to make a green pattern, blue, green, blue, you can just cut your blue off, start with a green one, and then keep going over, under, wherever you left off. So this friend, if you look really closely, they ran out of blue yarn here, but then they just started with their green one right there, and they just kept going with it, okay? All right, friends, I cannot wait to see your looms. At the end of class, if we don't finish this, you're just gonna put your yarn like that, save it for next time, and you should put your name on the back of your loom. All right, friends, cannot wait to see your art. Let's get started.